yeah! This is happening!
Okay, here we go. Sonic Adventure, the first game, has existed for 20 years. Yeah, that Sonic Adventure. Not the DX Director's Cut remake for the GameCube that added the dumpster fire of a camera and the extra shiny graphics. And not the PC port of the GameCube game that was just as terrible. I'm talking about the 1999 earth-shattering, game-changing, industry-shaking, most talked about game that was going to save Sega and save the Sonic franchise. It's hard to think about it now, but at the time, this game was a huge deal. Sonic Adventure released 9/9/1999 as the launch title for Sega's ill-fated market-ending console, the Dreamcast. To add some perspective to this, in the years leading up to the Dreamcast release, Sega had fallen on some hard times. They launched the Sega Saturn in 1995 as a surprise follow-up to the Sega Genesis, and some dummy decided it would be profitable to launch the console on announcement day, with virtually no launch titles. Spoiler alert, it was not. After a 3-year lifespan with arguably very few good exclusives, Sega needed the successor to do better. The Dreamcast was in the works and was looking very promising until Sony announced that the PS2 was going to drop just 6 months after the Dreamcast release. The Dreamcast only had 6 months to make an impact on the market, and it needed something to stick to beat out the PlayStation 2. Oh, something stuck alright. Let's take a look at Sonic Adventure 20 years later. After the Dreamcast failed in 2002, Sega began developing games as a third-party publisher to the major console companies in the market at the time, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. One of the first projects Sega completed were ports of the 2 Dreamcast-exclusive main series Sonic games, Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2. A lot of gamers experience these games for the first time in the form of either Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Graphically, neither port looks incredible by today's standards, but the gameplay and graphics for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle definitely held up better than Sonic DX. What made the port for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle so special is that the original graphics and game mechanics were unaltered, while Sonic DX received a complete graphical and mechanical overhaul. This led to some very wonky controls and cutscenes.
Whoa!
I experienced Sonic Adventure for the first time on the GameCube in the form of Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. At the time, I really thought this game looked great. The graphics looked pretty good, and to be honest, I never really remember the cutscenes being so cringy. Back then, I was a Sonic nut, and I loved everything to do with the guy. If the game was bad back then, I was having too much fun to care. I played Sonic Adventure in its pure, unaltered state for the first time in 2016. My local used game store had a Dreamcast in stock, and I jumped at the chance to own that piece of history for the first time. This is the version I'll be discussing in this video. 20 years later, how well does the gameplay hold up? Spoiler alert, it's not great.
Oh no.
Sonic Adventure offers 6 different playable characters for 6 different playstyles. You'll race through action stages as Sonic, fly through stages as Tails, treasure hunt with Knuckles, fight a monkey robot as Amy, catch some fish as Big the Cat, and play shooter stages as E102 Gamma. Sonic stages are easily the standout here, and they're nothing to write home about. Replaying some of those iconic moments, like the whale chase scene or the snowboarding section, definitely tugged at the nostalgia strings, but they've lost their luster. The buggy camera and out-of-sync mechanics can't be outshined by the cool water effects and dizzying loop-de-loops anymore. The first half of Sonic's stages are exponentially better than the second half. The stage Sky Deck, or as I like to call it, Sky Wreck, was barely even playable between the terrible lining and the whacked mechanics. Every death was so frustrating, because it always seemed to be the result of glitches or bugs rather than a reflection of my gaming skills. Trust me, I've beat a Sonic game or two. Tails stages are basically a watered-down version of Sonic's action stages, with the objective of racing Sonic to the finish in order to clear the stage. On a high note, the portions they chose to use for Tails stages were mostly the best parts of each of Sonic's. The snowboarding part of Ice Cap Zone and the downhill dash section of Windy Hill Zone stick out amongst these. Tails has the ability to fly, which was intended to be utilized to access different parts of the stage that Sonic wouldn't normally be able to reach, but the racing objective for each stage doesn't allow a lot of time for exploration, so this feature would fall by the wayside for most gamers. I once again dealt with lots of buggy mechanics and camera angles that resulted in lots of deaths. When playing as Knuckles, your objective is to explore action stages and locate 3 shards of the Master Emerald, which is a powerful gem that Knuckles spends his life guarding from danger. Well, up until it was destroyed by a big water monster. At their best, the treasure hunting stages are slow-paced and tedious. At their worst, they're buggy messes of environments that suffer due to general lack of visibility. The poor camera is ever prevalent, and is a big reason why these stages quickly turn from a fun concept of exploration to a horribly executed, time-consuming chore. Amy Rose spends this game protecting a flicky bird from a monkey robot, and the objective of her action stages is to successfully escape from it without being captured. Amy moves much slower than any character thus far, but comes equipped with a large hammer that can help her jump higher and run a bit quicker. Amy's momentum mechanics do not work very well when paired with her action stages, which makes completion a very tedious task. You can use Amy's hammer to stun the monkey robot and defeat enemies, but doing so brings your momentum to a screeching halt, and does more harm than help. After a few of her stages, I ended up just dashing as quickly as I could and dodged all enemies to avoid excessive slowdowns. While making Sonic Adventure, some idiot at Sega decided to put a fishing simulator in Sonic. And surprise, the simulator sucks! While playing as Big the Cat, your objective is to catch your frog friend in different lakes and pools set within the various environments of previous stages. The fishing game mechanics are so absolutely broken that it makes Big's story virtually unplayable. I spent 20 minutes in the first stage figuring out just how to cast my rod, and then another 30 minutes trying unsuccessfully to catch Froggy. I truly don't remember having this many issues while playing the GameCube port, and perhaps this was something that was fixed in later releases of the game. Come on, Froggy, bite that stupid lure! He's gonna get it! He's gonna get it! Oh, here comes another fish. I want to see this idiot bite it, then let it go. And I get him on the first try. Sonic Adventure's final playable character is E102 Gamma, a robot created by Dr. Robotnik whose mission is to destroy Sonic and friends. Gamma's stages are timed rail shooters with the objective of completing before the clock runs out of time. Shooting enemies and nailing combos will add extensions to your time limit. The stages overall are average, and unfortunately suffer from the same lighting and momentum issues that plague this game. Gamma speeds up drastically with little to no control over momentum, and I ended up careening off the sides more often than not because I couldn't slow down and didn't see the ledge. You know, because everything is so dark! Sonic Adventure features a few other playstyles in the forms of minigames and Chow Garden side quests. The Sky Chase minigames offer a Star Fox-esque aerial playstyle that works surprisingly well, and the Chow Gardens are beloved by fans for its RPG style of character building. Overall, the main gameplay styles just don't hold up in 2020, and it just doesn't feel as innovative as it used to. The gameplay may have aged poorly, but what about the game's plot? Sonic Adventure's story follows the 6 main characters through the same events, but lets the player see it through each of their own perspectives. Dr. Robotnik discovers a shape-shifting monster named Chaos that was trapped within the Master Emerald after it wreaked havoc on Angel Island. Robotnik freed Chaos by shattering the Master Emerald, as Knuckles snoozed, and planned to destroy the world and build a new city, Robotnik Land, on the remains. Chaos changes shape and grows more powerful with each Chaos Emerald it absorbs, and upon discovering this, Robotnik sets out to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds to power Chaos to its full potential. Sonic and Tails find out about Robotnik's scheme and race to collect the emeralds before Robotnik can get them. After a long series of back and forth emerald chasing, Robotnik manages to obtain all 7 emeralds, and Chaos transforms into its ultimate form, Perfect Chaos. Robotnik realizes that Perfect Chaos is too powerful for him to control, and after PC floods the city and puts all its citizens in danger, he and the rest of the world turn to Sonic for help. Sonic goes Super Saiyan and gives PC the business, saving the world and putting Chaos' spirit at peace in the process. In theory, the plot isn't terrible, but the way that the story is segmented within the game is confusing and unorganized. Sonic Adventure is notorious in the gaming community for its lackluster performance by the English dub cast. Because this was Sonic's first 3D adventure, this was the first Sonic game that featured a full voice cast and dialogue during cutscenes. The voice actors in this game are considered by many to be the best in the franchise's history, but the dialogue feels disconnected and very choppy. It's been reported that the VA cast was originally given scripts for the game with no context, other than some concept art and some vague notes by the Japanese game devs. This apparently is why the characters don't seem to talk to each other, and the tone and pitch are all over the place.
Oh man, what happened to that emerald we just had?
I guess Eggman's got one of them.
There's also very little direction within the game's story on what to do next and how to progress the plot. I spent a lot of time going back and forth from the different adventure fields because I was never quite sure what I was supposed to be doing next. Hints are placed within each of the adventure fields that offer some guidance on what to do, but even during my most recent playthrough, I felt like I muddled through only because I had previously played the game and remembered how to access some hidden areas. I couldn't imagine how difficult this could be for someone playing this game for the first time. Now, you may be saying, AJ, you really just gonna do ya boy Sonic like this? For real? There's nothing about this game that punches you in the face with nostalgia? If there's nothing else you should play this game for, you at least have to experience the soundtrack. Holy! Talk about a blood-pumping, heart-racing, fly-off-the-handle, race through a loop-de-loop, blast-off into space, crazy punk compilation of a game soundtrack. Every single track in this game is a banger, and fits the atmosphere perfectly. Music has always been a standout in the Sonic franchise, but the composers took full advantage of the expanded space on the game disc to create some of the most iconic tracks in video game history. The punk rock and ska style of music matches Sonic's personality perfectly, and immerses a player into the game's atmosphere. Jun Senoue was the primary composer for Sonic Adventure. He previously worked on other titles in the Sonic franchise, most notably on Sonic 3 after Michael Jackson's compositions were scrapped during development. Senoue worked with several rock artists while recording Sonic Adventure's soundtrack, including Johnny Gioeli, who ended up forming a band with Senoue called Crush 40. Crush 40 would continue to record music for the Sonic franchise for many years. The impactful sound in Sonic Adventure's tracks left a lasting impression on players and holds up extremely well 20 years later. So after considering all of this, what's the final verdict? Sonic Adventure was a monster release for Sega that carried with it the potential to make or break the Dreamcast. In 1999, this game was beautiful and incredibly advanced compared to anything else on the market. Despite its historical importance in the gaming industry, Sonic Adventure is not fun to play in 2020. The graphics, while reminiscent of Sonic's early years, end up looking choppy and awkward and don't do the characters much justice. Sega did eventually get Sonic's 3D mechanics right with the Hedgehog engine, first introduced in 2008's Sonic Unleashed, but Sonic Adventure suffers from broken momentum effects and a non-functional camera that could leave most players with a bad experience. The Dreamcast and Sonic Adventure had a mission to shake up the gaming industry and revolutionize what it meant to play games. It did what it was set out to do and became the best-selling Dreamcast game in the console's lifespan with 2.5 million copies sold worldwide. It's also important to note that at the time of release, Sonic Adventure received very high rankings across review sites, with ratings mostly above 80% positive. Even though this title may not win any awards in 2020, Sonic Adventure is still considered an iconic classic in the franchise, and should be remembered in high regard, even if only for the nostalgia. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video today. My name is AJBake Plays and I'm a content creator with a focus on Nintendo-based content. You can find me weekdays over at twitch.tv/AJBakePlays. If you liked today's video, please make sure to hit that like button and ring that bell for notifications for future content. What did you guys think about Sonic Adventure? Would you guys still play this game in 2020? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, see you guys later.